from. I don't know where you tap in at or where you celebrate Memorial Day at, man. But it's hot. I mean, it's sweating on this Memorial Day. I just want to think and reflect on many times. I got great grands and stuff that served in this military, and so I always be thinking like, what exactly does it mean to be a free person in America? Yeah. What exactly does it mean to be a free person in America? I thought that was like the most important question that we could ask when we're trying to celebrate people who sacrifice their lives for this place. I want to know. I want to understand. We can't have honest conversations about freedom in America right now because we just so disconnected. We are. We are. We're separated by ideas. Ideas are tearing us apart. Like the craziest ideas right now. Hey, should nobody care about who I fall in love with and how I fall in love. I don't even think that we're supposed to be passing laws about how I fall in love. We have more better, more important things to have discussions about, especially as we move forward. Because I'm thinking about equality, like total equality. I don't care what you look like, where you're from, or anything like this. I think that sign behind me, private property. I think that goes with freedom. Like if I don't own myself in every realm, I mean in the digital realm and the physical realm, into all realms in perpetuity, then I mean like, damn, someone else owns me. I don't want nobody else to own me. I want to be a free person. And so Memorial Day, when we celebrated people who sacrificed their lives for this great nation, they gave up the ultimate sacrifice for you, for you, for you to be a free person. And I think, the best question as we reflect on the ultimate sacrifice is to ask, what does it mean to be free? What am I going to do with my freedom? If I understand that I'm a free person, what am I going to do with my freedom? Like these are important questions, private property ownership. I have to be able to own myself. I thank you so much for being from Niagara Falls. Is it hot out there? Hey, Fun with Cars. I'm live. I finally made it. We're gonna go live together too. Hope you're having a good day celebrating Memorial Day. I was thinking about my grandfather and my great grandfather. My family has a long history of serving this great nation. And it gets kind of spooky. It gets kind of spooky because like instead of being able to just say I love America and celebrating America, we get divided by political ideas or who the president is and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I could care less about the president. I care about the people. The people's what makes this whole place great. And when we celebrate each other, when we work together, it just makes America like the most bestest, greatest place ever. And so like when I think about freedom, what freedom means to me, I want total equality. I want men and women to work together. But in order for us to work together, in order for us to have good conversations, like I don't need no middleman. If I'm talking to my friend, I want to have an authentic relationship with my friend. I don't want to go through a third person. If I want to fall in love with a woman, I want to have an authentic relationship with her. I don't want to have a relationship with a third person, right? Like I love America, but I don't want America to mediate my relationships. You can be friends with this person. You can be friends with that person. I think that's a crazy idea when the government is dictating our relationships. But we can't even talk about it because like everybody's like so much like we're all fighting for ideas. I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that. I think the most important thing to be in the most freest place ever in the history of the world is a free person. Like that's where I started. Like I'm just a free person. And free people have to be able to engage in the exchange of ideas on how not only do we advance freedom, but like how do we celebrate living in the freest place on earth? I don't think we celebrate freedom by saying, I'm a victim, I'm a victim. Victimhood is crazy. It's crazy. Cheers to all the fallen soldiers who sacrificed their lives for this great nation. Cheers to you people, man. I'm a black person, right? And I only say that as a descriptor because some people look at me and say, "Oh, you're black. Why do you love America?" Because I live here, crazy person. I live here. I love Houston, Texas. I served this great nation. I went to the Navy, and I really didn't enjoy my experience that much. It was a challenge, but I think all things worth having, and it requires some pushback, some resistance. And I think like right now, especially in the political climate, like we get some pushback, we got some resistance, but now Like if our leaders are challenging us, then it's our responsibility to challenge our leaders. Like if the people don't have good ideas, and how in the hell can we ever expect our representatives to have good ideas? Our representatives are supposed to be a reflection of us. A lot of people that don't like politics, they run away from politics. They don't want political speech. And that's very disappointing because everything that I am as a person is a political action. Me being a man is a political statement. Me being black is a political statement. Me being in Texas, that's a political statement. We don't have to pay state taxes. And so a lot of people are coming here. Like our entire being is a political existence. And we're so afraid of politics. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad because people have sacrificed their lives for us to have the freedom to have like bodily autonomy and to engage in conversations with our fellow neighbor about how we make America the most greatest place on earth. But instead of having these conversations, we get very tribal and we pull ourselves apart and we just don't talk about like the natural things. Like my biggest thing right now is just the birds and the bees. Like I'm sitting outside and it's like 100 degrees in Houston and the birds are chirping and bees are flying around and butterflies are flying around. And I'm so thankful to be here. And and for me to have that type of gratitude, like it gets me excited. I want you to get excited. And I want you to get excited about what it means to be a free person. I think once we start having a conversation on what it actually means to be free, like I got if I told you the biggest things that I think are anti-freedom in America, you might get mad at me, right? But the most natural relationships that we have is to fall in love with another person, woman, man, depends on, your orientation, right? And when you fall in love with this person, I think the biggest decision that you can make with this person is, hey, are we going to have a baby or not? Like, are we going to have a baby or not? And man, it's gotten so crazy in America that instead of us being able to say, yes, we're going to have a baby, no, we're not going to have a baby, the first thing we do is we like pull out our pocketbook and we say, can I afford a baby? And then once you ask the question, can I afford a baby? That tells me instantly that all of our priorities are wrong. All of our priorities are terribly wrong. If you can't fall in love with the person that you meet and that you find attractive and have a baby with this person and have a family with this person, then are you a free person in America? Sheesh. Sheesh. And now, like the process of being human is to fall in love and to make a baby. This is the whole entire existence of being a human person. And then now, at what point does the government step in? What point does the government say, yeah, now I'm going to mediate on behalf of you two people because like love is supposed to be free. It's supposed to be an exchange of two individuals. You're not supposed to take my house because I love you. I think that's crazy. Everybody say amen. Cheers to that. I don't think our forefathers, I don't think they sacrificed their lives so we can go to court and get all our things taken away. No, heck no. I don't think that our forefathers sacrificed their lives so that we can live in a nation where we can't have honest conversation and debate about what relationships look like and how powerful we are when we work together. Like I play with these concepts in my mind about like what it means to be powerful and free in America. And like if we don't own ourselves in the digital realm, the physical realm, the spiritual realm, and in all realms in the perpetuity, then like goodness gracious. Like Google's not supposed to own my data. I don't think that makes any sense. The United States government is not supposed to know more about me than I know about myself. I don't think that makes any sense. And I think the most powerful thing to be a free person is that you are able to question your representatives. You're able to question your laws. You're able to question everything. Question everything. One of my favorite YouTubers is Moxie Approved, right? And his catchphrase is question everything because man, goodness gracious, AI is so big and powerful. I mean, like, have you seen some of these AI videos? I'm like, what in the world? I saw an alligator jumping out of the water, attacking a woman, and he had like 6 legs, but it was going so fast that it looked real. And I was like, oh my, like we're being attacked by all sides right now. And so, what are we supposed to do when AI is attacking us, the government is attacking us, and we're not engaging in meaningful discourse with our fellow person? We're just not. I can't tell you why we're not, but we're not doing it. I can tell you why. I love the phone. I think the phone is one of the most powerful devices ever created, and that it gives us access to information. If you haven't tried Chat GPT or any of these large language models, then you're missing out on the power of AI. But I'm supposed to use these tools to make connections. Like it's like a minion, like it's like a little personal assistant, and it does things that you need done continuously, repeatedly. Like, and you don't have to pay the digital editor. I got digital assistants to do work for me. If I could hire a person, I would. What I'm saying is, these things are supposed to be tools, and they're supposed to be tools of freedom, so we can be interconnected with each other and communicate the best ideas in the history of the world. We're supposed to use the most powerful tools ever to communicate the most powerful messages ever in the history of the world. What's the most powerful message that any person ever had, ever? It was freedom. That people should be free, have free thoughts, have free actions, be able to live their lives however they see fit. Autonomy. And I just, honestly, I really just I don't feel like a free person. I don't. I feel like there's too much government control. I think there's too many social controls of ideas that create these rigid. Man, people are lying. I don't like people lying. I mean, like, tell the truth and get some power. I knew an old veteran. He was 70 years old. He said, "The truth will set you free." Hell yeah, Mr. Willie. The truth will set you free. Pause. I said, Mr. Willie. And we don't want to wrestle with the truth because, like, being a citizen is hard. Ownership is hard. No, don't nobody tell you this, right? Let's start very simple. When you buy a car, no one tells you you got to get your tires rotated. You got to change your oil. Fun with cars. You know what I'm talking about. Like, having a car is a responsibility. Ownership is a responsibility. You have to take care of your property. If you buy a house, right? If you just can't call the leasing office and be like, "Hey, I got a leak." No, you got to like call a contractor to come and fix the roof for you. Ownership is expensive. It is. And if you're a free person in America, ownership is expensive. It's expensive to be a citizen. It takes hard work to participate in your political system. You have to engage in debate. You have to have uncomfortable conversations. You got to put feet on the ground to negotiate freedom because freedom has always been negotiated. And if you don't understand that you're negotiating for freedom, then guess what? Then maybe you're not a free person, like I said. On Memorial Day, as we salute those who sacrificed their lives for us, then it's important for us to be like, why did they do that? Why did they pay the ultimate price for us to have the concept of freedom and for us not to even have a conversation about what it means to be free in America? And I want to know, like, what do you think it means to be free? And I mean total ownership of my personhood. I think that's freedom. Now, I would really like to know what you think freedom is. Do you think the government telling you how many babies? I remember, shoots. I grew up. I'm an '80s baby. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm growing up. I'm a big kid now. Commercials played a huge part of my life, but we were also indoctrinated with the propaganda that, hey, China was a terrible place because they had the one child policy. They had 1 billion people. They didn't know how to feed the 1 billion people. And so since they couldn't feed the 1 billion people, what did they do? What did they do? They said, no, you can't have more than one baby. And we said, that's so barbaric. That's so barbaric. This was the American attitude to China not having children. And now you fast forward 25, 30 years later, and America is not having any children. Our government pushes us like, just go to Planned Parenthood. Just send the baby. Just go send the baby to go see sweet baby Jesus. That's what they tell you to go do. Instead of like having the tough conversation on how expensive it is to raise children, they would just tell you, take a plan B or take a plan A and just. And so, like, since 1974, since Roe versus Wade was passed in America, we done lost like 60 million potential people who could have bolstered our population. We could have had some great doctors and scientists and just wonderful individuals who could save this world. But instead, we made an economic decision to prematurely say goodbye to these wonderful people. And I'm like, yo, if you don't have the freedom to have a baby in America, then are you a free person? I think that's an honest question. I think it's a fair question. If you can't afford to have a baby in America, are you a free person? If it's too expensive to have a family in America, then maybe we should have a conversation about how people can have families again. Because I don't think there's anything more American than the middle class, the working man who goes to work every day and sacrifices his life for his family. Because like that's what it means to be an American. Freedom, patriotism, the work, doing the hard thing, the duty and responsibility of owning yourself. It's hard. It's easy to have someone tell you what to do, how to do it. I've been in the military, up, down, left, right. You do exactly what we tell you, and it's very easy to follow instructions. It's very easy to follow instructions. It's very difficult to have your own ideas, your own personhood. It's challenging, and I'm challenging you. Like, just ask yourself, what does it mean to be free? How do I be a free person? What am I going to do to contribute to advancing freedom in America? How do I celebrate those who laid down their life for me to have this conversation? YouTube is one of the most powerful tools in the history of the world. And I could do some things, I could do a little dance and I could shake my sweet patootie. I could. Or I could talk about you being a free person and owning yourself from now until forever. Any corporation to gather data about you and use your data to sell you products. I think that's nuts. I think it's nuts. I think we have a million conversations that are supposed to be had about being a free person in America as we celebrate the people who sacrificed their life for freedom before you ever ask me who I'm sleeping with and how I'm sleeping with them. That's very intimate, isn't it? I don't even think that's supposed to be public discourse. We have the most nastiest culture. When I say nasty, I mean like we're doing the nasty. And we watch nasty movies and we don't have any intimacy. I mean, like, the interpersonal connection when you get to fall in love with a person and dive into their soul and like have a genuine relationship. We're not doing that. We're divided by this phone. Huh? I have a sweet baby, right? And me and his mom, I love her so very much. And it's challenging when you're in a relationship with a person, you have a child, point being, my baby has a digital daddy. Oh my gosh. She stays like 50 miles away from me. It takes an hour for me to see her. And on the days that I can't get to my baby has a digital daddy. Do you remember in the 90s at the Tamagotchi? It was like a little digital device. It was a digital pet. My child has a digital daddy. We have to use the tools that we have to the best of our ability to tell the truth, man. It's really hard to negotiate in a world that where we're not negotiating with each other. And until we start having a conversation directly with each other on how we protect our families, how we protect our children, how we be better fathers and better mothers and better citizens, it's going to continue to look crazy. I don't like living in a place that looks crazy. I think America, like I've been to Spain and I've been to Russia and I've been to some other places, I've been to Africa and I've seen some parts of the world. Yes. And I haven't seen all 50 states in America. I have not been to all 50 states. And we got things here in America, like I want to go see Niagara Falls. I think that's important. I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to see the Redwood Forest. Like, man, we're supposed to like invest in each other. Like y'all are supposed to come to Texas and y'all come over here, y'all visit me, say hi. You can watch the Houston Texans play, whatever. It's all good. But Americans have got to be interested in America. This is ours. Like this is ours. This is our birthright. This is what so many people have. Now, and to answer your question, I could never run for political office because once you run for political office, uh, you got to play by the rules. You got to say the things that they want you to say because they have these big monuments. I'm an agitator. I'm a citizen who's looking at America and I see free people and I'm like, yo, this isn't okay. This is not okay. Hey, stop scrolling. Start talking. Get engaged with your community and be like, hey, I don't like the way Houston looks right now. Like Houston looks kind of, and I think that we can do better. But until I start having a conversation on how I can be a better citizen and work with other citizens to improve my community, then we're not going to be free people in America. We're going to continue to vote in people who don't care about us. And it's easy for them not to care about us when we don't care about us. We don't even care about our fellow neighbor. It's easy. It's very easy. When we don't care about each other, it's easy for the government to turn us against each other. White versus black, white versus black. Racism is bad, but everyone's entitled to their worldview, their personal opinion. These screens are powerful. I know the demographics of America. I know, like, I've met some people and I've seen some things, so I know how important relationships are. But if you haven't met people outside of your race or your religion or whatever your creed is, then your worldview is skewed by your own ideas. And I have broad ideas. I look at America as a class system. I know that we do have a caste system based on ethnicity, but also it is a class system, and we're also divided by economics. And I have so much in common with people who make less than $70,000 a year. I just do. Our worldview is very similar because you make a similar money. You can buy similar things. You have similar limitations, and the economy affects you in a similar way as it affects me. But we can't even talk about like the cost of living and how we negotiate for higher wages in America because we won't even agree that we're Americans and that we love America. It's like it's really the greatest American alive, man. You need to buy this hat immediately as fast as you possibly can because it has your name on it. The greatest American alive, you, the greatest American alive, because of your contributions to just being here. Like every cigarette you buy, every beer that you buy, every hamburger you flip, every hot dog that you eat, it contributes to our economy. You're investing in America every time you spend a dollar. And if you don't even understand that's very powerful, that it's economically powerful for you to spend dollars in America, and it's hard to understand your power and your freedom. It's hard for you to understand your responsibility. You have the responsibility to be a powerful person. You just do. If you live in one of the most powerful nations in the history of the world and one of the most powerful economies in the history of the world, then it's your duty and responsibility to take control of your economy and your government and say, hey, this is what I want. I love YouTube, but the algorithm can get kind of out of hand, right? I'm thinking out loud. I want to share this thought with you. Shouldn't you have the ability to tell YouTube, I want to learn these very specific things over this time period and only show me videos that pertain to this? You don't think they have an algorithm powerful enough for me to program my algorithm to learn a thing? Hey, I don't want to get sucked in by when they start doing the jiggly jiggly and the twerky twerky. Hey, I don't want to see that for 90 days. For 90 days, all I want to see is business plans on how I have one of the most prestigious media companies in America. Huh? I want to compete on a global level. All we have is ideas. And if you don't start sharing your ideas with each other on how my ideas benefit you and how your ideas benefit me and how we work together to be the most powerful citizens ever, the greatest Americans alive, then we look crazy. And I'm tired of our society looking crazy. And it's my fault. Me personally, it's my fault. I'm a middle-aged man, and it was my responsibility to challenge government, to challenge politicians, to articulate what freedom is and how it's supposed to be executed. I'm supposed to say these things. But when I don't say them, when I don't do them, that's a dereliction of duty, and I gotta be held accountable for me not being attentive to freedom. If we don't attend to freedom, then guess what happens? It erodes. All of a sudden, they pass the Patriot Act. Then all of a sudden, you got surveillance. You live in a surveillance state. Then everything you think and everything you say and everything you do is being watched by Big Brother. And you're not a free person. That's one. Hey, look, because we have phones and we're so used to being recorded, like it's scary that we believe that like we don't have any privacy. I think privacy is a key to freedom. And I don't even think children, like if you're like under 30, I don't even think you know what privacy is. That I'm entitled to have communication with whoever I see fit, and should nobody know who I'm talking to. If I want to go to the naked, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody supposed to be recording me go in and out of the naked and tell me that you were here at 1:12 on a Tuesday. I think that's an invasion of privacy. And you're using technology to leverage my behavior against me. I think this is scary. So if we don't regulate the tools that we use, if we don't engage in the conversation on how we use the surveillance state and like how we use AI, then Sam Altman and ChatGPT and all these other big companies and Google and Gemini, then they get to use AI however they see fit. And I think that's wrong. I think that's terribly wrong. I think it's important for us to use those powerful tools in the history of the world to advance freedom. What does freedom look like for you? Like, what do you want and how do you want it? Hey, if you haven't talked to ChatGPT, go tell ChatGPT your wild. Hey, how do I make $10,000 in a month? Just ask, right? And it's going to ask you a series of questions, and then you can give ChatGPT honest answers. Hey, I make this amount of money. These are my interests, and now I want you to create a plan on how I leverage my ideas to make $10,000 a month, right? Yeah. Right now, before AI gets super powerful, use AI tools to make some more money because, you know, in a capitalist nation, money is political speech. You can pay for a politician in America. It's kind of scary, but our lobbying system is a very real system. You can pay, you can buy a politician. Hell yeah, you really can. How much money do you have? And collectively, if we get enough money, then maybe we can get us a really good politician that talks really nice. You know, the type of politicians that foreign governments have. They pay for politicians to come and speak well for them, and then we give them billions of dollars. And I'm just saying, geez, those are my billions of dollars. I believe in humanitarianism and all that stuff like that. I do. But politics is negotiating resources, and nobody is negotiating resources for the working class man, for working class people, for the family, for the young woman who is 18 years old and she just had a baby with her boyfriend. Excuse me, the baby isn't here yet. She got pregnant and she looks at her funds and she doesn't have the career experience and he ain't got the money to take. And so sadly, I shared 2 tears for the baby who got terminated. She says goodbye to the child because she can't afford it. I'm saying, like, these are tragedies that are happening every day. Every year, we lose about 1 million babies because people can't afford these babies. But no one says we love babies and we love American women, because if we did, they wouldn't be laying on some cold doctor's table with forceps going in and out. They wouldn't be doing this. What's freedom? What does freedom look like? Freedom looks like the ability to fall in love. Freedom looks like the ability to have a family. Freedom looks like the ability to sustain yourself. I don't need the government to take care of me. I need the government to not interfere when I'm negotiating with, or to help when I'm negotiating with big business. Americans need to make this amount of money to buy this type of house, to have this type of car, to live one of the nicest lives in the history of the world, man. This is America. What does it mean to be free in America? Goodness gracious, man. If we can't celebrate living in the most powerful, most prestigious place in the history of the world, then what are we doing? If you have a grievance with America, that's fine. Hey, write it up, create the political party, and then advance your position and tell me whatever you need. Okay? Like, do that in a formal way. But just griping about things, that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't honor the people who sacrificed their lives for you to be here. Like, this is an experiment. And we're still in the experiment phase. Now, do we sink or swim? Do we fail or succeed? It's all up to us. It's all up to you. Like, are you going to have good ideas? Are you going to do the work to amplify your good ideas using the most powerful tools in the history of the world? This phone is more powerful than the whole NASA space program. It's more powerful than the Manhattan Project. Your phone is more powerful than, like, the greatest scientific advancements ever. Those Wright brothers they created an airplane from a piece of paper and a pencil. What can you do? What can you create? Can you create an amazing reality, not only for yourself, but for your fellow American person, for your family? If we're not talking about families, we ain't talking about nothing. If we don't have kids, then we don't have a nation. So let's start right there. Fall in love, work hard. Question your supervisor at work. Ask him, why do you keep having me do this busy work? Ask the owner of your company, why won't you pay me more money when, like, the last quarter's earnings were so high? Like, we had a 10% increase in productivity, but I didn't get a 10% increase in my wages. It's time to negotiate for more, better freedom in America for you and everybody you love, and for your future children and all the future generations. Like, I get excited because you get me excited. This whole thing was a thought experiment on how can Americans work with each other to make sure that America remains a superpower going forward for another 1,000 years. We're still such a baby. On this Memorial Day, man, we still got so much further to go. And while we're alive, while we still have air in our lungs, let's not only honor those who sacrificed their lives for us, but let's fight for future generations. Let's fight for ourselves. Let's enjoy this day. Hey, have a hamburger and a hot dog. Have a nice cocktail. Hug your family. Love your family. Play with your kids. The greatest American alive. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for just being the greatest American alive.